Welcome. In this edition, we will talk about the startup ecosystem in India. Now, India's youth is known globally. We have 21% global workforce in India that would be available by 2047. The average age of 29 years, and the idea is we would be bringing in entrepreneurs in various fields from yoga to spirituality to music and cinema. One of the sectors that has been growing at a very fast pace is AVGC, which is animations, visual effects, gaming and comic sector, and we have global players as well as numerous startups. India is first in starting new startup every day, second in number of startups, third in the largest startup ecosystem, and the first startup 20 engagement group was established in India's presidency of G20 summit. We have the third largest number of unicorns, and a unicorn in 2022 was added every 9th day. The GDP in 63 years grew by 1 trillion. In the last 5 years, it has grown by to 3 trillion. So that means the rate at which our GDP is growing is definitely important to note. The next is national logistics policy. The idea is to lower the cost for logistics and from the existing rate of 13 to 14% and bring it at par with other developed nations. And this reduced cost can be brought with better connectivity, improved infrastructure, and then our startups can have better compliance as well. Three important pillars for support to startups include simplification, funding them, incubation and industry partnership. Also, futuristic technology is important. 41% of the real-time transactions happened in India worldwide. Our IT sector had registered a year-on-year growth of 15.5%, and some of the important subsectors in high demand include AI, blockchain, platformization, cloud computing, cyber security. In the defense also, India so far was one of the biggest importers of defense. Now, in the last 5 years, our exports have increased 6 times, and we target to increase our exports from 1.5 billion to nearly 5 billion. Numerous MSMEs startups had joined the Innovations for Defense Excellence Framework, and this had its 7th edition, which talked about the Defense India Startup Challenge. Acceptance of necessity for 14 IDX products has also been given by the ministry in the accordance. In the agriculture, again, we are creating a digital infrastructure, having a fund, preparing a funding avenue and launching various schemes through National Infrastructure Pipeline, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and this would have a tremendous impact on the Indian economy. There are various startups for technology, healthcare and agriculture which could require seeding, and our position in the Global Innovation Index has increased from 81st to 48, which is again a remarkable development. India's action plan for startups is Innovation for India, Innovation from India, and that encourages innovation, promotes and strengthens young entrepreneurs. So India at 75, where we say the Amrit Kaal is, and then we have the period of Swarnim Kaal. Also, one woman director is there with at least 47% of the recognized startups. The ease of doing business has given a good thirst to the startups with freedom from laws, decriminalization of company acts, and then a single window system which brings in the development of 11 industrial corridors, introduction of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of India, emergency of 100 unicorns with a valuation of 333 billion to be included, the obsolete companies to be removed, and very important is ICE Gate, which is clearance through Indian Customs Electronic Gateway. The next is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which talks about innovation mission mode with more incubators, mentors, investors and accelerators. The startup awards have been launched by DPIIT, and there have been winners from smaller cities like Kochi, Lucknow, Marmagao, which has been important to note. Similarly, we have registered that the National Startup Advisory Council has played a major role, and there are various incubation programs which includes grant channels, investor connection platform which are part of it. The startup G20 engagement groups aims to bring the startups unicorns and more than 40 billion USD investment in the last year, and the idea is one earth, one family, one future, and these startups would help in bringing in a better national ecosystem, having a better foundation and task force, and developing more inclusion, sustainability. For the agricultural startups, India, if we talk about, has the world's second largest arable land, and we have nearly 15 different agroclimatic zones. India is the largest producer in milk, pulses, millets and juice, second largest in rice, wheat, fruits and vegetables, and a leading exporter of majority of agriculture and livestock products. And therefore, innovations in this sector, mainly in the hand-holding and incubation facilities, could bring in definite progress. But there are challenges. One is the small size of the land holdings, difficulty in using the efficient resources and inputs and technologies on a smaller piece of land, and also providing them timely solutions since India is a monsoon based country. The next is the modes and the models, where we talk about the action plan. 60% of the agri-startups in tier 1 and tier 2 cities are based on geographical locations, and the accelerator fund for agriculture is important, which aims to transform modern technologies. There are technology innovation hubs, nearly 25 of those being established, which carry out development of specific activities. IIT Ropar has introduced an IoT based sensor for saffron production. Similarly, IIT Kanpur is working for prediction and forecasting models. IIT Bombay working for drone imaging and drone spraying. Nidhi is another program by DST, which is National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovations, promoting a startup ecosystem and promoting science and technology based entrepreneurship. So there are three subparts of it: Nidhi, Prayas, TBI, and then SSP, which aims at early stage funding. So futuristic and sustainable development by increasing productivity, bringing cost of the productions down, and ensuring higher prices, and finally better income to the farmers. Also, focusing on Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are focusing on increasing the crop yield, and this could be done through per drop more crop. So micro irrigation facilities to be brought, farmers insurance to be increased, and then we have PM Kisan Yojana, credit support Yojana, and then women entrepreneurship, another important aspect. So how do women-owned enterprises are actually registered under the Udyam portal? What is the share of such registrations, and providing them better access to credit, help them start their own enterprise? There should be technology development, regeneration of skills and tools, technology through Spurti and ESDP programs, employment generation and equitable distribution of income. Encouraging empowerment of women is another important aspect. With the launch of the National Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Hub for promoting entrepreneurship, KVIC, which is the Khadi Village and Gram Udyog, the artisans under Khadi program have been increased. For credit, 10% concession on guarantee fee has been given to women enterprises. Artisan based clusters could be developed. Similarly, we have programs for different sectors like coir industry. Numerous women have been involved with it. So there is a good opportunity for MSMEs in the Amrit Kaal, and the government initiatives for MSMEs include funding support, technology upgradation, skill and better market access. There are various programs which have been started under government leadership, which talk about technology upgradation, digital MSMEs, public procurement policy. In the defense, again, there is defense procurement, innovation for defense excellence, FDI for MSMEs to bring in better access to technology, better access to capital, and then alternate to the financial banking system, we have the non-banking financial companies, peer-to-peer lending, trade credit, crowdfunding, and so on. So the idea of the entrepreneur skill development program is to promote new enterprises, have an entrepreneurship culture and better training to them. There are various programs which have been launched under this slide, which could be 1 day, 1 week, 6 week program. Similarly, international cooperation scheme talks about technology infusion and upgradation for MSMEs, Antodaya and mass media. Now here we have a very important pillar, which is media, considered as the fourth pillar of democracy, bringing the upliftment of the public to the lights of everyone. And this, under this Antodaya program is one of the major programs renamed under Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, focusing on the welfare of the people. Antodaya meaning rising the last person in the line, and that's what this policy aims to. So it has various provisions for Anna Yojana, and then it also has a provision for the Gramin Kaushal Yojana, which is development of the rural people and the rural areas, to reduce the rural and the urban poverty, increase the livelihood options for those. So those are some of the key things that we have discussed with this Yojana edition. We'll be bringing in many interesting topics for Yojana Kurukshetra Down to Earth and other important summaries with case studies for your answer writing before your prelims. We are having a series of expected topics. So stay tuned, do join. Thanks for watching.